Swallowed in nightly tracks, swiftly and lightly. Make up the lost ground and see what you don't see. All questions aside, I asked and you lied, and now my hands are tied.
House of Glory Wrestling presents With Glory Comes Pride. Saturday, February 18th at the NYC Arena in Queens, New York. Tickets on sale right now at HOGWrestling.net. House of Glory, it's a pro wrestling event on a whole nother level.
This isn't where I parked my car.
On this episode of Off the Script, number 157, part number 1 for your Friday, February 17th, 2017! I got news on Triple H forming a new evolution. Who is rumored to be in it and how I exactly would book this entire thing with Mick Foley, Stephanie McMahon, Triple H, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, and everybody Triple H is thinking about putting in this new group, man. My creative genius at work. Triple H forming a new evolution being rumored on Monday Night Raw. Also, more rumors are making the rounds this week that Vince McMahon wants AJ Styles on Monday Night Raw. Will it happen with the 2017 draft? Also, news on Kurt Angle's potential role with WWE after WrestleMania 33. Charlotte and her undefeated streak at Fastlane. What is WWE going to do when it comes to Charlotte's undefeated pay-per-view winning streak? Also, Braun Strowman was reprimanded by Vince McMahon for messing up his lines a few weeks ago on Monday Night Raw. Also, the startling number of title changes revealed for the women's division on Monday Night Raw. Also, WWE rumors are running crazy on the internet with Randy Orton foregoing his title shot at WrestleMania 33. What are the plans for Bray Wyatt at WrestleMania 33? All this plus so much more right here on Off the Script.
JD from New York, 206. It's time for Off the Script. Big Show and Ryback, Strowman and Roman. Get off my fucking TV and save me the misery. And all you fucking goons, just grab a cold beer. The man of the hour is finally here. JD from New York, 206. It's time for Off the Script. JD from New York, 206. It's time for Off the Script.
What is going on, guys? JD from New York here. Thank you so much for tuning back into the channel. Friday, February 17th, 2017. This is episode 157 of Off the Script, part number 1 to start your weekends off the right fucking way, man. I got a ton of shit to go over, including this big story that we mentioned in the beginning of this video. We got Triple H rumored to be creating a new Evolution faction on Monday Night Raw. I'm going to go over this entire thing. I'm going to book it. I'm going to tell you what exactly needs to happen and who is going to play a major role in this entire storyline and what it will eventually lead to for one of the biggest storylines for WWE in 2017. We're going to go over a bunch of shit, man. We're going to go over the subscriber stories. We got a very, very special story today from Horse60. One of my buddies, man, he's going to share his story with us today, and we're going to read another one from Courtney, who reached out to me, the story of her life as well. So we got two great subscriber stories coming up. this week on Off the Script. And there's not much else going on, man, really. I was on here last week and we poked fun at the entire flu situation at my job and, the situation with this clown Otis at work. Nothing new on that front. I do have a story, though, that actually happened to me on Wednesday afternoon when I was at work. And someone had called out prior during the day, right? They couldn't make their shift. There was supposed to be another one another person there at like 1:30. So that individual did not come in. So we were severely shorthanded on Wednesday afternoon. And I was already stressed, man. I haven't been eating right. I didn't have lunch that day. And all it took was one lady to piss me off. And when I got done with her, I was legit shaking, man. I had to walk around for about 20 minutes in the fucking cold just to cool off. That's how fucking angry I was. Now, normally when I'm at work, I do a lot of office work. I box shit up, I ship out customers' repairs, and I receive repairs, and I receive merchandise, and I ship out merchandise. I was doing all of this during my Wednesday afternoon, and I was getting everything ready because I didn't want to miss the UPS guy. He usually comes early. He said he was going to come early that day, and I wanted to get him so I didn't have him waiting around. These things needed to be done before he got there, okay? Now, this one lady in particular, she did not care at all about what I had to do. She didn't give a shit about my job. She didn't give a shit about anybody else but her, okay? Now, I don't know if she did what she said she was going to do, nor do I care, but I was sitting in my office chair at my desk on Wednesday afternoon. One of my coworkers was sitting right beside me, changing a battery on a watch. I'm not sure if it was a Timex or not, but it was a watch, okay? So the lady comes up to the counter, black lady, by the way, and I mean that in no racial fucking way, you fucking goons, okay? Comes up to the fucking counter, and she says, "Hi, I'm here to have my jewelry cleaned." Okay. My coworker answers her, okay? So then I'm continuing doing my work and I'm boxing shit up and she sees me. This lady sees me working. It's not like I'm on my fucking phone playing Pokemon Go. I'm actually legit doing my job. I'm doing the tasks at hand. So my coworker tells her just to remain patient. And somebody will be with you in just a moment when one of us is free. Nice, respectful answer. So then a minute goes by, and I mean literally a minute goes by. She's still there. I didn't look at her, but I felt her staring. I felt this bitch staring. So she opens her mouth and she proceeds to say, "Hi, is there anybody else that could help me?" There's 3 people on staff. I'm doing my job. My coworker is changing a watch battery, and Otis is floating around helping somebody else. Okay? So I don't even look at her. I give her one of these, like, out of my fucking peripheral vision. I don't look at her completely, because I don't want to see the fucking horror that's standing behind the counter. I give her one of these. I give her one of the, because I'm Sicilian, I got talk in my fucking hands. I told her, listen, calm down. Somebody will be with you in just a moment, just like my coworker asked. We are shorthanded today, and I apologize. Please be patient. Exact wording. And I use that tone as well. Okay? And I meant to use that tone. So she looks at me, and I look at her, and she's giving me a nasty attitude. I don't appreciate your tone. I don't appreciate your attitude. Then she proceeds to say, "What is your name?" And then my coworker stopped me before I said something sarcastic. She gave the politically correct answer. "I'm sorry, ma'am, we're not allowed to give out that type of information." So the lady proceeds to say and threaten, "Well, I'm going to call corporate on this location, and I'm going to get the names of everybody on staff, and I'm calling corporate." I'm like, and I'm looking at her, and I said to her, you do that. You go right ahead and do that. And she's walking away. She's now walking towards the exit, right? And she doesn't even get to halfway through the store. She doesn't even get halfway to the fucking exit of the store. And she yells out, I swear to God, she yells out this. If I was a white woman, you would have dropped everything and helped me. So I'm behind the desk. I roll my chair out and I look and I'm like, excuse me? It's exactly the tone I used and exactly the fucking direction of my fucking, my venom was headed towards her. So she's like, you heard me. That's what she said. So I proceed to say, have a nice day, in that tone. And then she yells back at me. She's like, I don't wish the same to you. And walks away. And walks out of the store. So, not only was I called a racist because I wanted Alexa Bliss to win over Naomi at the Elimination Chamber for the sake of fucking SmackDown storytelling. I was called a racist because I wanted Alexa Bliss to beat Naomi. What does that have to do with race? People interpreted that because they are fucking assholes and should not be on the internet. They assumed and took it upon themselves to turn that into a racial argument because I wanted Alexa Bliss, who is of white skin color, to defeat Naomi, who's been on TV for 3 weeks, who I didn't think deserved a title reign yet. Naomi, who is of black skin color. And then I got this lady, the fucking very same week, telling me that if she was a white woman, that I would have dropped everything and I would have attended to her immediately. So I was called a racist, indirectly by this lady, but called a racist twice. Twice in the same week, okay? Now, what I wanted to say to this fucking bitch, who I hope you fucking drop dead with your jewelry, and I hope someone fucking mugs you, you fucking degenerate piece of shit, okay? Don't understand why people gotta use the fucking race card. Like, who the fuck are you? Who are you? That you feel that you're entitled above everybody else in this. She wasn't even the next fucking person to be helped. What was she gonna say when I told her, well, there's 3 people ahead of you, you're gonna have to wait? What I wanted to tell her as she was walking out the door, after she said, well, if I was a white woman, you would have dropped everything to help me. What I wanted to say was, yeah, and I voted for Donald Trump too, you fucking asshole. That's what I wanted to say. Number 1, I didn't vote. 2, I wanted to just zing her with someone who the majority of the people hate. So I wanted to kind of say that, but my coworker said, good thing you didn't say that. I'm like, yeah, good thing I didn't say that. At this point, I don't care. At this point, I don't care. So that was my work story. That was my work day. That was my week. Called a racist again. I don't understand it. Why do people use the race card, bro? I mean, are you that insecure about yourself? I mean, are you that low on the totem pole of society that you have to feel entitled to use something like that? Because why? I'm a successful white guy and you have to wait to get your fucking jewelry cleaned? Because I don't want to help you? I'm doing my job. Right? Who are you? I don't give a fuck who you are. I don't give a shit if Donald Trump himself was standing behind the counter. I would have gave anyone of any skin color the same exact fucking answer. I would have gave anybody of a higher fucking, elite status in this fucking society the same answer. I don't give a shit who you are. You wait your fucking turn. You're not better than anybody else. You bleed the same way, and you fucking shit the same way. We eat the same way. What are we, animals? Fuck out of here, bro. So, wait your fucking turn. Patience is a virtue, people. Patience is a virtue. That's all I got to say about that. And please, if you're in customer service, don't piss me off. Don't piss me off. Because when you show any slight disrespect to me, oh my God, man, the things I wish I could say to these people. And at this point, I really don't fucking care. I hope she called corporate. I hope she called corporate. Because I'm gonna explain the situation to corporate the same exact way I explained it to every one of you. So next time I have a work story, it might be either I quit, either I got a call from corporate and they're terminating me, or this lady is a complete fucking cunt. And she came in again and proceeded to fucking berate me again because of my skin color. We'll see what happens. I'll keep you guys updated. This coming Saturday, onto good news. This coming Saturday, I will be, and I bought a new outfit, new shoes, new everything, bro. I'm going in there like $1,000,000. House of Glory. With glory comes pride at the NYC Arena. This Saturday night, bell time is 8 p.m. Main event of Alberto El Patron versus Low Key. This is going to be fucking awesome, man. Also on the card, you got Ken Broadway. We got Matt Seidel is going to be there. This is going to be a fucking great show. And I'm going to be doing play-by-play commentary with Mr. Matthew Ryan Shapiro, as always. My partner in crime over at House of Glory. We're going to fucking tear the house down. So if you guys are in the New York City area, man, please come out and say what's up. I will be there early. I will be there, hopefully, meeting and greeting the talent, and I'll be fucking, getting prepared, getting my notes ready for the show, etc., etc. So if you guys want to come out, man, tickets are $20, I believe, $25. Either way, it's a fucking steal, man, to see some top-tier talent in a great fucking wrestling promotion, and it's going to be a fun time, man. There's going to be alcohol served. It's going to be a fucking great crowd. It's unbelievable, man. You gotta really visit the NYC Arena in person with the fucking place full to capacity, watching great wrestling action on a Saturday night, man. You can't get any better. So tickets are $25, houseofglory.net, and I will leave all the information down in the description of this video. And also, I want you guys to go subscribe to House of Glory on YouTube, man. All you gotta do is type in House of Glory Wrestling, and it'll be the first thing that pops up. Subscribe to the channel. I'll actually have the YouTube link right to their YouTube channel in the description with the ticket information for Saturday night. Subscribe, man, because anything that happens on Saturday night, it will be uploaded on the YouTube channel. You get teasers, you'll get, full matches, whatever the production crew and my buddy Isaac want to put up there. It's going to be a blast, man. So make sure you guys support local indie wrestling. Support House of Glory because they're doing everything right. And 2017, man, with the shit I'm hearing right now from the inside about what's going to happen or what is being planned for 2017, it's going to be a fucking grand slam for House of Glory, man. They are going to shake the indie scene like no other. And I can't wait to get there on Saturday night, man. I feel at fucking peace. I feel at peace when I'm in and around wrestling. I feel at peace when I'm behind the commentary booth, calling the action, doing what I've always wanted to do. And still, I can't believe that I got this opportunity to do this and work with this company and do what I love, man. Unbelievable stuff. House of Glory Saturday night. With glory comes pride. So make sure you guys come out to Queens, New York. The NYC Arena. All the directions and instructions are on their website for House of Glory. Beer Goons. Beer Goons will be recording this week, episode number 2. I will explain all of that again as well on the Beer Goons podcast with the Joe Cronin Show. I'll talk about my brother's birthday. His birthday was on the 16th. Happy birthday to my brother Frank. We'll talk about that on Beer Goons. We're going to have some new beer to taste on Beer Goons. We'll be going over the work story as well on Beer Goons. We'll be just shooting the shit as always on episode 2, man. So iTunes and Podbean are the only places right now to listen to Beer Goons with JD and Joe Cronin Show. iTunes, please subscribe. And on Podbean, please follow, man. On iTunes, subscribe. You're automatically going to get notifications for Beer Goons automatically delivered right to your device. So that's what is most important there. And if you are on iTunes, leave a comment, man. Leave us a comment on how we could better the show and leave us a rating on iTunes as well. With Podbean, same deal, man. Follow us on Podbean. You'll automatically get notifications delivered to your device. And it's easy, man. You'll know when we upload a new episode of Beer Goons. So that's coming this week. JD and Joe Cronin Show, Beer Goons on iTunes and Podbean. The Internet Darlings Show is coming closer and closer, man. Please go and get your tickets today for the Internet Darlings. It's going to be me, Brian Zane, Joe Cronin Show. We got Grimm's Toy Show. We got Adam from What Culture and the entire What Culture crew. Going to be a fantastic time. We're going to be doing a roundtable discussion about WrestleMania 33. We're going to be giving you preview and predictions. We're going to be taking your questions from the live audience. We're going to be selling merchandise after the show, meet and greet. I'm going to be drinking some alcohol. It's going to be a great fucking time, man. So that is the Internet Darlings set up by Mr. Brian Zane himself. Tickets are on sale now. All the information you need is linked down below in the description of this very video. I believe it is eventbrite.com. So make sure you guys go check that out. Internet Darlings, $25 a ticket. And if you're going to be in Orlando, it's a great way to spend a couple hours, man, with your favorite YouTube personalities. Raw, SmackDown, NXT, Resident Evil 7, and WWE 2K17. All those videos went live this week. So if you guys missed anything on the channel, you missed one hell of a fucking week, man. Raw, we had, obviously, the Festival of Friendship. We talked about that on Monday Night Raw. SmackDown, I went a little bit overkill with the Kevin Dunn impression. I'm going to try and scale that back for a couple of weeks. I don't want to overplay it. I'll use it when necessary, but I wanted to do a whole Valentine's skit with Kevin Dunn on SmackDown, and I wanted that to be the theme of SmackDown, so I apologize if I went a little bit overkill with the Kevin Dunn impression. Ruby Rage! You know? We'll talk about Kevin Dunn, but we'll take a little break with him. He's got to go back and whiten his teeth. NXT, we talked about the United Kingdom Championship being defended in the main event with Tyler Bate and Trent Seven. Resident Evil 7, we had Part 6, short episode. Make sure you guys go check that out. I believe it was Part 6. Part 7 is going to be uploaded this weekend, so make sure you guys check that out. Part 6 is up. Part 7 of Resident Evil 7. A lot of 7s. Trent 7, Resident Evil 7, Part 7. That'll be uploaded this weekend. Should be closer to an hour, so hopefully you guys check that out. And then WWE 2K17, My Career Mode, Episode 31, Broken 9 to 5 versus Roman Reigns. And Broken 9 to 5 brought Roman Reigns to the best match of his life. So make sure you guys go and check that out. The iTunes podcast, man, I'm a big numbers guy. I see the stats and I look at the stats daily. The iTunes podcast and the Podbean podcast, man, especially on Podbean, lighting shit up, man. We are in like the top 4, top 5 podcasts. We're like right behind Solomonster, man, for wrestling podcast on Podbean. That's fucking great. And thanks to you guys, man. Seems that you're loving the same format as I do here on YouTube.com. We do part 1, 2, and 3. Saturday night, part 1. Sunday night, part 2. Monday night, part 3. You guys are loving it. Going to continue that. If you guys are on iTunes, subscribe to Off the Script and leave me a rating on there. Let me know what you think of the show. Let me know what you think of Kevin Dunn's white teeth or yellow teeth or whatever fucking color teeth they have. We got Podbean. If you guys are on Podbean, please follow. You automatically get notifications delivered right to your device, just like Beer Goons, man. So make sure you guys go and check that out. Off the Script on iTunes, Podbean, Stitcher Radio, Google Play Music, Audio Boom, and all other audio platforms. Now, this is where everybody likes to just chill, grab a beverage, and relax. Off the Script is about to begin, man. Sub-stories, and this is a very, very, very special one right here on episode 157 of Off the Script, and it comes from a good friend of mine. I've been doing YouTube for 4 years now, 4.5 years, man, fully. I've been fully invested in it for like 4 years straight, and I have met many people. I've met many people within the wrestling community that I have befriended, that I hope to work with in the near future. I'm hoping to get on board with the WWE 2K Games staff, and hopefully I can give my input for a better game going forward. I'm working my ass off to do all these things because I love what I do here. And the people that I met, from my buddy Omen to my buddy Hollow, Dan, to, you know, there's just so many, man. Joe, and there's just so many fucking people that I met through doing this YouTube thing, man, and that I keep in touch with. And Horse 60 is one of those guys. Horse 60 to me is someone that I can legit call a friend. I've explained my personal situations to him. He's given me advice. He's always reached out to me to find out what I'm doing and how I'm doing. He's always been there, phone call away, to give me advice on how to market Off the Script and some ideas that he's got running through his head. He's always reached out to me to invite me down to his neck of the woods for a fucking couple of Cole Yinglings and some fucking shooting in the woods. It's just great, man. And that's one of the main reasons why I love doing YouTube. It's meeting great people that, I can relate with and I can legit call a friend. Horse60 is one of those guys. And he's got a very special story this week, and I'm going to start. He titled it, "For Off the Script, The Day My Hero Died." He says, "What's going on, little brother? As I was laying in my bed at home, sick as a dog, I was able to catch up on your off-the-script videos I'd missed. The day was January 2017. I would like to share my story, why your videos cheered me up. Back when I was a young sergeant in the Army, I was deployed in Bosnia in September of 1996. I'm showing my age here," and he puts a smiley face. "In January 1996, my pops was a victim of a stroke. That fucking thing shut my dad down, bro. He couldn't speak. He had to be fed through a tube and had in-home nursing taking care of him, along with my 8 brothers and sisters. Yeah, I come from a big family. A fucking Norwegian clan, so to speak. During that fall deployment, everything was going as best it could. I was doing my job and taking great care of my soldiers. And then I got called into the CO's, commanding officer's tent. I won't go into the conversation, but we received a notice from the Red Cross a week before Thanksgiving 1996, and that it was in my best interest to return home on emergency leave. I was taken out of the AO and sent on a bird back home. When I arrived, I was picked up by my best friend and brought to the hospital. Pops was in a bad spot. But what destroyed me most was seeing him jacked into every medical machine known to man, and my wonderful mother holding his hand as he was unconscious. He was slipping away from us. It damn near broke me, JD. Standing in the doorway, I walked up to Mom and said, 'Mom, go home. Get some rest.' She replied, 'Not until he wakes up, Jeffrey.' My mother at the time, God rest her, was so strong for all of us. Mom and I, on both sides of Pop's bed, held his hand, prayed to God to keep him with us and have the doctors do their best to make him whole again. I didn't leave the hospital. I know what sleep deprivation is, and I didn't sleep until Dad woke up. What I didn't know is how bad the stroke had taken a 6'1", 190-pound man and diminished him to just 110 pounds. I was shocked at his weight loss. I was awake for 80 hours until his beautiful blue eyes opened up. He looked at Mom and then me. Mom rose to her feet and kissed him gently. I looked, fuck, this is where the lump in my throat gets bigger and bigger, at him. Patted him on the back of his hand and said, 'Welcome back, Pops. I'm home until you get out of here.' Tears were streaming from my eyes, as was his. He was able to make it home for Thanksgiving. The family, we gave him so much of a celebration. I know he couldn't talk, so I made him a board where he could touch the letters. His left hand didn't work anymore, so he used his right to communicate with me and my family. I never left his side for the duration of that leave. For some reason, along with the commo board, I could understand what he was trying to say. Then the day came where I was up on my leave and had to head back to Eagle Base in Bosnia. It was Tuzla, Bosnia. I will never forget the last photos I took with my Pops. I will never forget our last words that I said to him. 'Pops, I'll never quit. As long as you never give up. You fight this, okay?' I said through tear-filled eyes. He put his good hand on the back of my neck, pulled me close, and he placed his forehead against mine and did his best to say, 'I will.' That was the last time I saw my Pops alive." I'm getting teary-eyed just reading this because I don't read these as they come in. I save them because I want the genuine emotion to come out. At 7:20 a.m. on January 18th, 1997, my dad, the man I admired most in my life, left us and went home. God called this great warrior home. 13 years later, Mom joined him. I'm sure he was so glad to see her, and she him. I can't tell you how sad and lonely I felt on January 18th, 2017. 20 years after the loss of the greatest man I'd ever had the honor to know for a short time. I'm the youngest of 9. I didn't get to have the most time with Pops, but I had the best time. Today, 21 January 2017, 20 years ago, I watched my mother cry as he was buried with full military honors. I not only buried my Pops, I buried a brother in arms. I got caught up on your off-the-script shows, and because of that, those few podcasts, and reading the comment section and seeing the love and support that everyone gives to your stories from others. What a family you've created. You made me smile on one of my worst days. You made me smile on one of my worst days, JD. And for that, I'm truly thankful. I thank your viewers and their passion to be cool with each other, who've been with you for as long as you've been doing off the script. I just want everyone to know, no matter how much our parents may make us upset, force us to look deep into us and set the best example and raise us to do our best. Always, always know they love you. More than you could ever know. I know there are viewers and friends you've had that lost a loved one. All I ask is this. Let your parents who are with you know that you love them. Let your parents who you are with now know that you love them. Those we've lost, go outside on a clear starry night and say hi. Life is too short to sweat the small stuff. And always remember, JD, like my dad told me, I'll never quit. As long as you don't give up. God bless you and yours and all of your viewers. Horse 60. I'll tell you what, man, that's the kind of shit I want to see. That's the kind of shit I want to share. Because I know everybody has laid to rest a loved one, man. Me with my grandfather and everybody else that may have lost a loved one, they probably felt the same way, man. And I thank you for sharing your story. And I love the passion that you put into what you wrote me, man. I love it. Thank you so much for being there. And thank you so much for being a supporter of the show. And most importantly, thank you for being a friend. So, everybody in the chat, everybody in the comment section, prayers and thoughts to Horse 60. Thank you, brother. I greatly appreciate it. Next story we're going to read comes from Courtney. She titles this one, Story of My Life. Hey, JD, my name is Courtney, and I'm 19 years old. I was born and raised in Brooklyn. At the age of 5, my mom and dad separated, so me and my older brother and little sister stayed with my mom while my dad moved into an apartment not too far away. My mother meets a new guy, and a year later, they have a baby together. Throughout this, I wasn't talking to my father because he didn't want anything to do with my mom or us. 4 years later, she ends up having 2 more kids by a random dude. I know my mom didn't make the smartest choices in her life, but it didn't matter to me because I appreciate what she's done and still is doing today. We moved to Far Rockaway, Queens in New York, and that's when my life started to change. I knew at a young age we were on a tight budget when Christmas came around and we weren't getting the amounts of presents we get every year, and we were dealing with child services, which didn't end until 2 years ago. Along the way of moving to Queens, she meets this guy she's been with for over 10 years now, and I don't think he'll ever pop the question. In April of 2008, I lost my home due to being evicted because we couldn't afford the amount of money our landlord wanted us to pay. Nowhere to go, standing outside of the home I was just kicked out of, shaking because it was still cold at the time. Finally, after calling family members to find a place to stay until we get on our feet, my great uncle, who had passed away in his sleep 3 months before, house was available. We moved in, and months in things were great, and we get around September. We lose electricity and spent 3 months in that house without any electricity. We left, went to another family member's house, and stayed there for 1 day. Then we went into a shelter in the Bronx, not too far from Hunts Point Avenue. Spent months in that shelter until December 2009. During those months, we went some days without eating, and during that time, the only thing that kept me at peace was school. Though I didn't have much friends, and sometimes I would be made fun of because I was living in a shelter. I was at peace when I came home, and all I wanted to do was play with my WWE action figures that I had. I had Rob Van Dam, Shelton Benjamin, Randy Orton, The Undertaker, John Cena, and Triple H. I had more, but I lost them due to all the moving. By December 2009, we finally were able to find a place. We did, and we moved back to Brooklyn in East New York. Dealt with a lot of drama there, from neighbors to family members, and ended up homeless again. And at this time, I'm sick of everything and wanted to give up. We stayed at 2 different family members' houses, and they hid food from us when my mother was putting food in their refrigerators. They treated us like shit and took advantage of us in every way. 2 of my siblings was taken away from us, and we had to fight to get them back. I asked God to give one reason why I shouldn't give up and end it all. Then WrestleMania 30 came around, and I felt like Daniel Bryan's push to the main event card was the only thing keeping me positive on life. His push gave me strength to live through this bullshit. The bullshit that I was going through. After dealing with family and their bullshit, and I stayed to myself for almost 2 years. I even stopped going to church because I didn't feel like anything was going to get better. We ended back up into a shelter, and this time we spent almost 3 years in this shelter until finally May of last year. Fast forward to the summertime, I was looking for predictions for SummerSlam, and your video popped up first. I watched it, and I was agreeing with how WWE had no choice but to resort to 2 part-timers in Orton and Lesnar as the main event of SummerSlam, because they haven't fully utilized anyone on the active roster. From that video, I knew instantly this guy knows what he's talking about, and everything he says just comes out perfectly. I've been watching you ever since. Any day now, I will be a father. I'm having a girl, and I just, a few months ago, rekindled with my father, and he's trying to help me find a job so I can support me, my girl, and my unborn baby girl. I'm still a little depressed here, and there are still going through things, but I watch your videos, and anything WWE, my mood changes. I'm happy as if nothing is going on in my life. I'm sorry if it's too long to read. I usually don't tell anyone I don't know about my personal life, but I feel comfortable letting you in because you've let us in on your life, even when you didn't have to. I appreciate your work and you being you, and ignore the critics. P.S. I love your Kevin Dunn impressions. They make my day. Sincerely, Courtney Bailey. Wow. That's two unbelievable stories from 2 people, man. We got Horse and Courtney. And I really don't know what to say, man. For the first time with subscriber stories, I'm actually speechless about what to say and what to say next. I appreciate everybody that comes through here and finds value in what I do. And just like Horse said, man, I'm never going to give up, man. I am never going to give up until I am at the top of the game. And I'm going to take that, and I'm going to fucking even work harder than I already am doing what I do best, man. And that's giving you guys pure entertainment and pure value. And I am not going to stop, because out of everything that happens here, I love giving you guys fucking 2 hours, 4 hours total all weekend to just put the bullshit aside, forget about what's going on out there. The only thing that matters to you guys right now is this. And if you can find solace and comfort and peace in what I do here, that's the most important part of what I do, man. So I thank each and every one of you. And I'm sorry for getting emotional during Horse's letter, but there's a reason why I don't read them, man. I get so many emails about subscriber stories. I don't read them. I pick out which ones I want to do right before the fucking recording, and I go in there blind because I want the real emotion to come out, and that was real emotion, man. So thank you to everybody. I greatly value everybody that comes through here and has found value in me enough to subscribe. So thank you guys so much. Audible is sponsoring the podcast. So is Gamefly. I don't know if the Gamefly link is working. I hope it is. I mean, I'll make you a new link, but it'll be down in the description below. But Audible is sponsoring the podcast, man. And the funny thing about Audible is they're not only sponsoring Off the Script, they're doing Raw, SmackDown, NXT. No matter what I'm doing, man, they are an official sponsor of this channel. And Audible's giving you guys 30 days free to try the service out. And that includes one free audiobook, iTunes and Android compatible. So this is what you're going to do. You're going to go to audibletrial.com/offthescript, and you guys are going to sign up for 30 days free. It's not going to cost you a goddamn fucking dime, man. It's free.com. And you're going to sign up and you're going to get one free audiobook, man. Over 180,000 books to choose from, many of which are WWE wrestling-related books, man. Chris Jericho, Mick Foley, Shawn Michaels, Brock Lesnar, Hulk Hogan, Daniel Bryan, which a lot of you guys cashed in on. And look at this. You got new books from Mick Foley, new books from JR, Jim Ross, and new books from AJ Lee coming out. And if they're going to be on Audible, I know AJ Lee's is on Audible. Some of you actually tweeted me that you cashed in on a fucking pre-order. I didn't even know you could do that. AJ Lee is doing her own audio autobiography, man. It's going to be voiced by her. And you guys can pre-order that with the free trial, man. Unbelievable stuff. You could probably do the same thing with Mick Foley and Jim Ross's new book coming out. So, audibletrial.com/offthescript, and tweet me what you're signing up for at JD from NY206, and I'll automatically retweet you guys, man. I love that you guys are showing Audible some love, and Audible's doing some great things for the show, man. So thank you guys so much. Gamefly, same deal, man. 30 days free to try the service. That includes one free game. So if you guys want to try Resident Evil out, but you don't want to spend the $60, sign up through my link, man. GameflyOffers.com. And it's very simple, man. You use that link, it takes you right to Gamefly's site, and it knows that you're using my link, bro. It knows that you're using my link, okay? GameflyOffers.com/JD from NY. So make sure you guys are going there. Sign up free. 30-day free trial. Includes one free game. They're going to send you the game, and then they're going to pay for the shipping back. And no matter what, you get to keep that game for the 30 days, man. So if you guys find value in it, you could even sign up for a year. They got subscription services there for Gamefly.com. But if you guys want to try a free game out for free, 30 days, GameflyOffers.com/JD from NY, man. So make sure you guys go and check that out. If you guys want to support the podcast through other means, Patreon is always there. This video is going to go live on Patreon as soon as it's done. Patreon.com/JD from NY. Thank you to all the recent patrons, man. You guys are fucking unbelievable beasts. Barbershop Window, get your fucking Wrestlemania merchandise, man. I got a new t-shirt in the works. Can't wait to show you guys. But get yourself dressed for success as you head down to WrestleMania in Orlando, man. There's no better way to do that with off-the-script merchandise, man. Barbershopwindow.com. All you got to do is go to barbershopwindow.com, type in off the script. It'll take you right to my online shop. 8 t-shirts to choose from, soon to be 9. And like I said, make yourself look good going down to Orlando, man. And that's pretty much it, man. That is pretty much it. Now, let's get into the actual show. Thank you guys so much. I love doing Friday's episode, man. There's just so much stuff to go over. And it's quality fucking content. Over 2 hours of fucking beastly podcast on Friday. We're going to talk about some small news stories, and then we're going to talk about the main story here, man, with Triple H possibly getting a new faction together on Monday Night Raw, a new Evolution faction to be exact, and I am going to book it exactly how I would play it out on WWE television with many parties involved. Hopefully you guys like what I come up with. And like I said, we're going to start off with some small news stories, so I'll see you guys in just a little bit. I'm going to start the show off with this story because every time I talk about him, people always want to come at me and say, "Oh, JD, why are you supporting John Cena, man?" John Cena reportedly insisted on putting Bray Wyatt over. Really now? Let me repeat that for the fucking idiots out there who might have misheard me. John Cena insisted on putting Bray Wyatt over. Let's find out. X-Pac, Sean Waltman, was backstage at the recent episode of SmackDown Live in Anaheim, California. I mistakenly said it was from Oakland. My notes and my fucking dirt sheet clearly fucked up. They were live from Anaheim. He revealed some interesting things from his time backstage on his podcast, X-Pac 12360. This is what he had to say. He says that John Cena himself insisted on putting Bray Wyatt over. Bray pinned Cena clean in the triple threat match between Styles, Cena, and Wyatt. X-Pac says, and I quote, "I'm not sure what the finish was supposed to be for the match, but I know this for a fact, that John Cena insisted on putting Bray Wyatt over again last night. He insisted on it. That is not a rumor." Cena also was pinned by Bray Wyatt in the Elimination Chamber match. X-Pac also recalls a conversation they had with AJ Styles backstage where he praised John Cena. I quote, "He came up and he went, 'I was watching your show,' and he goes, 'I just want to tell you what you said about John Cena being the man and the best thing going. You're 100% correct.' He goes, 'Anyone that doesn't agree with you, it's because they don't really know John Cena and have never been in the ring with John Cena.'" So everybody is happy to hear that John Cena insisted on putting Bray Wyatt over. No doubt in anybody's mind that pinning not only John Cena at the Elimination Chamber, but on SmackDown in that great triple threat match that we seen this past Tuesday is going to make Bray Wyatt a superstar, and it's one step in several that is going to make him one of the elite, if not already, in WWE, man. So good news there on John Cena insisting to management to put over Bray Wyatt and make him not only at the Elimination Chamber, but on SmackDown twice in the same week, pin John Cena clean. Nice report there by X-Pac. We got news here on Kelly Kelly apparently re-signing with the WWE. Now, I don't know where this is coming from, and I really have zero interest in Kelly Kelly coming back to the WWE. She was awful. She was nothing but a fucking, she was nothing but a bimbo. Had no in-ring skill, no wrestling talent whatsoever. I mean, she's not as bad as Eva Marie, but she's shredding Eva Marie territory. Now, there's a rumor going around that Kelly Kelly has resigned with the WWE, not one, not two, but for 3 years. And that she is going to be reprising the role that Emma ditched for the Emmalina character. Kelly Kelly made a random appearance backstage at Monday Night Raw this week from Las Vegas. In an interview for WWE's YouTube channel, she said that she was interested in having one more run with the company. She previously left in 2012 after suffering a neck injury. She will also be a part of WrestleMania Access Weekend. There is a rumor going around that Kelly Kelly has actually re-signed with WWE. Her appearance backstage of Raw was a way for WWE to tease her return. Now, I'm going to report this Emmalina gimmick and the story behind why it was scrapped after this one, but Emmalina and what Emma was doing on Raw, you know, this fucking huge deal after 17 weeks, done. She's like, okay, the transformation of Emmalina is complete. Now, we're going to wait for the transformation of Emmalina back to Emma. Awful. Absolutely awful, and it's a fucking crime. It's a shame that WWE has done that to a talented female performer in which they could desperately use on television. But to them, it's better that she stays off television for a 17-week period instead of being on it. How do you think Emma feels? We'll talk about that in a second. But Emma and the Emmalina gimmick that she was supposed to have was scrapped because WWE officials did not like the way Emma was portraying her character. Can you fucking blame her? I mean, who is going to be interested in something that's been fucking doomed to fail from the very beginning? How is Emma going to have any interest in doing anything you ask her to do after being off television for 17 weeks? Of course she's going to not want to fucking have any interest in it. All she wants to do is get back in the ring and wrestle. That's all she wants to do. But they thought, hyping her up for 17 weeks is going to get a nice reaction. Nothing. The Las Vegas crowd couldn't give two flying fucks about Emmalina. And now Emmalina is no more. So she wasn't portraying the character like WWE officials would have hoped. 17 weeks. Would you fucking play the character and be interested and lively about the character? Of course not. She wants to wrestle. It's also stated that WWE officials still really love the idea for the Emmalina gimmick and plan to use it again. Early rumors suggest that Kelly Kelly could be the one to reprise the role for that gimmick. Now, Kelly Kelly also appears on the e-show Wags. Never heard of it, nor do I care. It is safe to assume that she could eventually have a role in the show Total Divas after she returns. Now, they are looking to get Kelly Kelly, if this is indeed signed. I'm waiting for confirmation on this, because it's nothing but a rumor right now, so don't fucking go on Twitter and say, well, JD is spreading false rumors, man. It's a fucking rumor, okay? Nobody knows. Sure, Dave Meltzer will be talking about it in the Wrestling Observer newsletter in a couple of days, but the idea right now, from WWE creative standpoint, is to sign Kelly Kelly. There's reports going around that I also read on top of this that she's going to be reporting to the Performance Center next week, and that they are aiming for a summer unveiling for Kelly Kelly to make a WWE return. So I don't know what's going on with that. I will follow this closely as the story develops for Kelly Kelly and clearly and obviously Emma, because I'm more interested to know what they do with Emma, okay? Now, the real reason why Emmalina was dropped, okay? This fucking pisses me off how they don't do what needs to be done. It's fucking ridiculous, okay? Recap by the official WWE website. Emmalina finally made her debut on Raw, and she had delivered as promised. More than 4 months. Just as quickly as she made her debut, she was gone, as Emmalina came out and said it was just a one-night thing, and she was transitioning back to Emma. Yeah, it really doesn't make much sense to anybody, but there's a strange but true reason why the whole awkward promo just fell flat on its face. While the debut of Emmalina had become a bit of a backstage joke after it didn't initially happen, there is a real reason as to why the gimmick was pulled. Ryan Satin of the Pro Wrestling Sheet is reporting that WWE actually had very big plans for the Emmalina character, but producers found that it wasn't going to work. After numerous rehearsals, The WWE producers realized that she simply could not pull off the look and attitude they were trying to accomplish. WWE was attempting to bring back a character that could have been in the same light as Sable and Stacy the Cat Carter, Jerry Lawler's ex-girlfriend, who were both huge during the Attitude Era. They both held women's championships at one time and were seen as huge sex symbols during their time in the ring. So WWE, now I don't know what they're trying to do, but in their mind, okay, Sable is one of a kind, man. You're not going to find many women that come across that way like Sable did during the Attitude Era. I don't think there's been anybody. The closest might be Stacy Keibler. Nobody besides Sable and what Sable did came across with that type of sex appeal, okay? If you're automatically going to be saying, all right, well, we're going to try and mimic this after Sable and what she did, there's already massive amounts of restriction on Emmalina before you even get her through the curtain. Why are you trying to make her in the same vein that is a Sable, that is in the same vein of a Stacy the Cat Carter? Why? Why? To me, if you're doing that, you're already setting her up for failure. Because that character will never live up to what was done in the Attitude Era. Emmalina and Emma is not Sable. Emma is not Stacy Carter, the cat. Not gonna happen. Here's a bright idea. Why don't you let Emma be Emma? Right? So, what they're doing here is they're going completely ass backwards. This is supposed to be a women's revolution, right? This is supposed to be a new era of women's wrestling. With this character, I don't know what the fuck they were trying to pull. I don't know what their intention was. They are reverting backwards from everything that the women are doing now on the main roster for Raw and SmackDown. This character is going ass backwards in what they're trying to accomplish. They're trying to accomplish the diva mentality that they shed for this women's revolution. Instead of giving Emma an outlet to do what she does better than probably anybody on that fucking roster and actually wrestle, they want to make her into a dolled up fucking bimbo that nobody's gonna fucking care about. You know, obviously sex sells. Sex is gonna sell every single fucking time. Everybody loves looking at a fucking beautiful woman and next to nothing. I understand that. But you went away from all that. Sasha and Becky and Mickey and whoever else is there, Bailey, you know, maybe not so much Bailey, because Bailey's the fucking girl next door, but Sasha and Becky Lynch, but those women could still be used as, and they still kind of are, they're used as sex symbols. They're beautiful women. You don't need to put them in fucking bikinis, and you don't need to have their fucking tits hanging out all over the place to know that they are attractive. We don't need to see what Sable and the Cat did, and we don't need to see what, you know, Trish Stratus did back in the Attitude Era. We don't need to see that. You have talented women who exude sexuality already on the main roster just because they're naturally beautiful women. You don't need to do that. Emma is the same thing. She's a naturally beautiful woman. But you have created this new revolution in which wrestling takes center stage. Why are you giving someone a character that is reverting away from everything that you're pushing with this women's initiative? How is she going to succeed? I don't understand that. So that's where I'm coming from with this, and that's exactly what I initially thought with all of this. You were doomed to fail once you put Sable and the Cat in the same fucking description as what you wanted Emmalina to be. You were doomed to fail with this gimmick. And there's no reason why you should have given Emma this character. That is not Emma. Go back and watch NXT TakeOver London and that opening match with Asuka. That's Emma. That is Emma. Emma was riding a huge wave of momentum before she got hurt. She was called up to the main roster. And still, if you bring back Evil Emma, that will get over. Give her something to work with. If Emma didn't get hurt, there's no doubt in my mind that Dana Brooke would be over as well. That's how good she was. That's how good that pairing was down in NXT. That's what I wanted to see on the main roster, not this shit. She was doomed to fail before this thing got started. And if you are not invested in the character, you can't give a character to someone who is not that way, you know? Sasha, you can see somewhat that she is the boss. That character worked fucking well, you know? Becky is the fun-loving, Irish woman from fucking SmackDown Live, you know? And she just smiles and she's happy, and when she gets nasty and mean, you see it. She's just fun-loving. That's her thing. That's her stick, you know? Charlotte, she's living off her father's legacy, and she shows it. But you're taking Emma, you know, you had so many different fucking things with Emma. You had the bubbly Emma doing the fucking bubbles and shit, and then you brought evil Emma in, and it was something that, you know, we had to get used to seeing. But as we seen Emma progress, and as we seen Emma in the ring, we were like, this is gonna work. I love evil Emma. I think evil Emma is a fucking ass kicker. And Emma found her niche in a sea full of talented WWE women, and you took that away from her. You took that away from her to give her something that she probably wasn't comfortable doing. She couldn't feel the character. Why is Bray Wyatt so successful as far as a WWE character goes? Because he feels the character. He is the character. When you see Bray Wyatt walk in the streets, you think Bray Wyatt's going to act as himself? As who he really is in real life? Or is he going to be acting like Bray Wyatt? Guy's probably fucking carrying a lantern around, hooded up, you know? Speaking fucking prophecies left and right. That's what a great character does. You live, breathe, and die the gimmick. Emma was never going to do that with Emmalina. She found something that she was comfortable with, and you took that away from her. Bullshit on WWE Creative, and they are fucking retarded for even trying to put a Sable or Stacey the Cat Carter mentality with the gimmick when she clearly did not want anything to do with it. Kelly might find better success for it. Good luck. Do I want to see Kelly back on television? Was she some great female athlete that we're all going to be fucking jumping around for to see on either Raw or SmackDown? Of course not. She was terrible. She probably still is terrible. How you going to bring someone back like that and put her in the ring with a Sasha Banks or a fucking Charlotte or a Bayley? Come on, man. You're making a fucking mockery of the division. Anyway. They wanted Emma to be a throwback character of sorts and bring the current product what Sable and Kat brought to their product years ago. When Emma was injured last year, producers thought that her return was the perfect opportunity to have this gimmick be brought to life. Unfortunately for them, it did not work. After a few rehearsals, it simply did not work out. They kept trying to get the gimmick to work with Emma, and that is the reason that her return debut kept being delayed. I highly doubt that. I really do. You know, I believe the fact that Emma just wasn't feeling the gimmick, but, you know, it really ran into a fucking, it ran into a joke. It became a joke, and WWE really ran with that. They were having a fucking huge laugh. Fuck Emma, you know? And we'll keep having vignettes. 1 week, you know, what was it, 2 months ago? They said, debuting next week, and then all of a sudden, we didn't see her. They pushed it back another 2 months. So it's like, whatever, man. At that point, we didn't even fucking care. We didn't care anymore. So, Emmalina walked out on Raw, presented herself to the crowd, and then she announced that she would now transition back to Emma. It wasn't awkward just to be awkward, but it was awkward because WWE is going in a different direction with Emma yet again. The idea of Sable or Kat and the gimmicks that they had being given to other women superstars hasn't been scrapped completely. The backstage brass still love the idea and will likely pass it on to another superstar in the future, but it wasn't meant to be for Emma. Reports recently have been floating around out there that it was the big-time debut that was never going to happen. There's been no word on what will happen next with Emma, as she's already had a number of gimmick changes during her time in NXT and on WWE's main roster. She will likely be back now that she is healthy, but it may just be the dark heel persona that she had before her injury. Seems as if WWE really had a lot of faith in Emma and hoped that she would be the next big thing in the women's division on Monday Night Raw. Sure, she has the looks and the sex appeal that Sable and Kat had, but she is more talented in the ring than they both were combined. For some reason, the backstage brass just feel as if she didn't have what it takes to make the transition and that the Emmalina gimmick would never happen with Emma. So there you go. I hope I made sense of what I ranted about. And I really feel that WWE taking and stripping what made Emma so great originally with Evil Emma and taking away from her what she ultimately just wants to do. She wants to be back in the fucking ring. You know? What are they afraid of? Are they afraid she's going to end up being better than a Charlotte in the ring? Is she going to end up being better than a Sasha Banks in the ring? If there's one thing that this division needs on Monday Night Raw, it's a little bit more diversity. There's nothing wrong with that. And if Monday Night Raw and the fucking producers and the fucking goons that run this piece of shit show don't see that, then there's no hope for this show at all. Your division is garbage. Trash. Okay? You got 3 women featured almost every single week. That is not a fucking division. Adding Nia Jax is not making a division. Dana Brooke comes out on Monday Night Raw. Where the fuck she been for the last 3 months? Get off my TV. Literally. Now you're going to make me believe that Dana Brooke is all of a sudden back helping Charlotte and having her at least retain the title or try to retain the title. Give me a fucking break. Who scripts this shit? Why was Dana Brooke out there? What reason does she have to be out there? She's been on fucking Superstars. But she's on Monday Night Raw helping Charlotte after fucking disappearing for 3 months. What has she been doing for 3 months? What has she been doing for 3 months? I hope she's been working out. I hope she's been working out, trying to get rid of that fucking gut. Hope she's been practicing, you know, getting some skills in the ring, being that we are professional wrestlers here. What was she doing out there? No, but you want Emma off TV for 17 weeks, though, right? Yeah, sure. Sure. Fucking woman was back in August. She was back healthy and ready to go in August after SummerSlam. And they held her off TV all this fucking time. What a goddamn shame, bro. What a goddamn fucking shame. Anyway, moving on. Moving on here. Rosa Mendez. Who? Rosa Mendez. She officially announces her retirement? Who cares? Do you care? Do I care? Why is this in my notes? Fuck out of here, dude. And Rosa Mendez officially announces her retirement. Good riddance. Good luck with your kid. Don't come back. Kurt Angle. Potential role with WWE after WrestleMania 33. There were rumors going around. Let me see if I can find the fucking news article. There are rumors going around about, Angle commenting on possibly managing American Alpha. That could maybe push them over the hump and get people a little bit more interested in them. Angle was interviewed by the Gorilla Position podcast. During the interview, he spoke with a wide variety of topics surrounding the WWE Hall of Fame. One of the more interesting parts of the interview was when he spoke about American Alpha. And he said, I love watching American Alpha. They have such a gift. They remind me so much of Charlie Haas and Shelton Benjamin in the old Team Angle. While this Gable kid also reminds me a little bit of myself. So I would be happy to manage them to some extent. I would love to see that. I think eventually they will lead to that when Angle is completely done with wrestling. Completely done with wrestling. Right now, I think Angle has a few more matches left to give. Because I'm hearing good things about what he did with What Culture Pro Wrestling at their True Destiny pay-per-view. I didn't watch it. If I could find it and I could watch it and critique it for free, I'm not paying for What Culture Extra. I would love to watch it. I would love to see him versus Alberto El Patron. Jim Ross was on commentary for that. That was him calling his final Kurt Angle match, it looks like. I would love to watch that, man. I'm hearing Angle looked amazing in that match with Alberto El Patron. So we got to see what's going on with that. And that means that Angle still has a lot left to give WWE. What I would do here is, people are talking about Angle being a GM of Monday Night Raw or a GM of SmackDown. Why would you make him GM when clearly the guy still wants to wrestle? He still has so much more left to give. There's so much more money to make on these fucking these matches that we could see, these fucking fantasy matches come to life, why would you want to put him in a role and take him away from wrestling? I'm hearing he's eating clean now. He's in fantastic shape for his career. All he's got to do is pass the WWE physical and medical tests. And if he's been wrestling and he's been doing all these great things, he's been eating right and he's been keeping in shape, there's no reason to believe why he won't pass a medical or a WWE physical. Now, there's a rumor going around that AJ Styles is going to be in this battle royal on SmackDown Live to determine the new number one contender for Bray Wyatt and the WWE Championship at WrestleMania, okay? This is one of the biggest rumors going around. Everybody's talking about Bray Wyatt. Everybody's talking about, who he's going to be fighting at WrestleMania. Is Randy Orton going to Monday Night Raw? Is Roman Reigns coming over to SmackDown to challenge Bray Wyatt for the WWE title? No. Come on. Listen, you guys have to be the most gullible fucks I've ever seen. Seriously. How are you going to automatically discredit Randy Orton? You think Randy Orton's going to give up a guarantee for WrestleMania? I mean, how dumb can you be? People tweet me, oh, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? What's going to happen? What's going to happen? You're going to see Randy Orton in the main event at WrestleMania. What's going to happen? No, I'm going to be there. I'm going to challenge Bray Wyatt for the WWE title. Fuck out of here, man. AJ Styles is going to be in the Battle Royal, okay? This is what people are talking about. He's going to get fucked in the Battle Royal, okay? It's rumored that the past several weeks, AJ Styles will likely be wrestling SmackDown Commissioner Shane McMahon at WrestleMania 33. How will this all end up? Now, I already told you on SmackDown Live review, you got to keep in mind what AJ said several weeks ago, okay? Well, actually, it wasn't several weeks ago. It was a few weeks ago, after the Royal Rumble. He wants his one-on-one match with John Cena. Well, John Cena's not the champion anymore, but you guys get my point. He wants his one-on-one match for the WWE Championship because he's owed a rematch one-on-one. Not in an Elimination Chamber, not in a fucking triple threat, not in a Battle Royal. I want a one-on-one match. He hasn't been granted that. He hasn't been granted his one-on-one. Daniel Bryan was on Talking Smack, and he came up with this Battle Royal. AJ Styles is going to be in the Battle Royal. I believe they went back and forth on Talking Smack. AJ was like, why am I going to be in the Battle Royal? Where's my one-on-one match? And then Bryan was like, well, this is a decision that's not coming from me, but coming from an authority higher than me. So who is that? There's no other man but Shane McMahon. Shane McMahon is pulling the strings here. Shane McMahon is purposely giving AJ Styles the runaround. He asked for a one-on-one match. He said that he would get his one-on-one match. He hasn't got his one-on-one match. So that's what's going to build AJ versus Shane McMahon at WrestleMania. Or the rumor going around is that Angle will be wrestling for the WWE at an upcoming pay-per-view. This is what I read today. I read Angle will be wrestling at an upcoming WWE pay-per-view. What is upcoming in the next couple of months? I don't know. It's taking place in Orlando, right? It's the 33rd annual event of what, WWE's biggest pay-per-view of the year. Oh, WrestleMania. So if Angle's going to be wrestling for the WWE, if he passes a medical test, if he passes his physical, why wouldn't you have him at WrestleMania? I mean, he's clearly stated he wants AJ Styles at WrestleMania. He wants one of his final matches. He wants one of his final matches in this stage of his career to be against AJ Styles. He also mentioned Roman Reigns. He also mentioned Rusev. He also mentioned Brock Lesnar. He also mentioned Samoa Joe. There's a lot of money to be made off Angle, bro. So if Shane McMahon, okay, I know Vince wants his son at the event for whatever fucking reason, because he's a McMahon. McMahon's got to run WrestleMania. Kevin Dunn, get Shane on the phone. Oh, okay, Vince. Shane O'Mac, I don't like your son. He scares me. He doesn't let me tickle his balls. You know? But Vince wants his son at WrestleMania. I don't know why. Shane doesn't need to wrestle. Why are you going to take a spot away from somebody else who is more deserving of that spot? Why are you going to put someone in there who the fans respect but would rather see filled by somebody else? I don't get that. I honestly don't get that. And it bothers me that WWE just doesn't listen to their fans. I mean, you could do this same storyline with Kurt Angle. Shane doesn't have to wrestle AJ Styles. Why not give the fans something to fucking say, you know what, I gotta book my fucking hotel, I gotta fly down to Orlando, I gotta see that. AJ Styles versus Kurt Angle. How many more years we got with Kurt Angle? You don't got many. Do it. Shane's gonna be around. Shane doesn't need to wrestle anymore. Shane was in Hell in a Cell with The Undertaker. You don't need to wrestle anymore, bro. You got Angle. If he passes a medical, get him on TV. Do this same storyline, but with Kurt Angle versus AJ Styles. Listen, you think you're the best in the fucking world? You think you're number one on SmackDown? Listen, buddy, I got something to fucking shut your mouth. Out comes Angle on SmackDown. Boom. It doesn't even need to be built up with weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks of storyline. It sells itself. I think we'll all fucking collectively get a fucking hard on. AJ Styles standing in the ring. Kurt Angle comes out. You hear that music on SmackDown. You got people going crazy. WrestleMania announced. Angle versus Styles. WrestleMania 33. You can do everything I just mentioned here for this storyline and include Kurt Angle wrestling on behalf of Shane McMahon as like a hired gun. It makes sense to me. I don't know why they won't do it. So that's pretty much where they're going with that. But it looks like it will be Shane McMahon, and they will fuck the fans. The tension between the two was originally teased when Shane announced the winner of the match between Styles and Cena at the Royal Rumble would have to defend their title in the Elimination Chamber just a few weeks later. So you guys seen that they were planting seeds early for this. Looks like this feud is going to keep going based around Shane keeping Styles away from the WWE Championship picture, which will likely be taken up by Bray Wyatt, Luke Harper, and Randy Orton, and that Wyatt family saga. So that is what's going on there with Kurt Angle and AJ Styles and Shane McMahon. That's the latest on those situations there. I also have news here on, let me see, where are my notes here? What do I got here? What else I got? Charlotte and her undefeated streak at Fastlane. This is what WWE is planning for Charlotte and the undefeated streak. You guys know how I feel about the women's division on Monday Night Raw. I went off on a fucking tangent on my Monday Night Raw review. The title has no prestige. Okay? By the way, before I read this, listen to this. This is the Raw Women's Championship. Okay? Dating back to July 25th, 2016. Banks was the champion from July 25th to August 21st. Charlotte was the champion from August 21st to October 3rd. Banks was the champion from October 3rd to October 30th. Charlotte was the champion from October 30th to November 28th. Banks was the champion from November 28th to December 18th. Charlotte was the champion from December 18th to February 13th. And now Bayley is the women's champion. Fucking shoot me dead. Awful. If you think you're creating a legacy by that statistic, you got another thing fucking coming, bro. That is pathetic. Absolutely fucking pathetic. It doesn't make Sasha Banks at all look like some fucking icon. It makes her look weak. It makes her look pathetic. And then Charlotte is treading the same fucking line that her father is walking. Or her father walked in his career. You win it and you lose it. You win it and you lose it. 16 fucking times. So Charlotte right now, you know, if she wins at Fastlane, which everybody is expecting her to, that would be 5 times within the calendar year. So if you take that and you use common math, 5 times within the calendar year, so you're doing 5, 5, and 5. Within the next 2 years, she'll have 10 more reigns, and she'll be a 15-time fucking champion. But WWE thinks that's building the legacy of Charlotte. She's becoming one of the greatest female talents of all time. I don't give a fuck how many championships you held. How many times I gotta tell you, it's what you do with the championship and what you do in that reign as champion. They have done nothing. They've done nothing. It doesn't build up a division. It doesn't build up a fucking, title. It doesn't build up the superstars. It makes everybody look bad. Because these two cannot get the job done on certain nights throughout the calendar year. Whereas if you compare this to one long champion who's held the fucking belt for 300, 400 days, there's no way you're going to tell me Charlotte is a better champion than fucking anybody else that's held the belt for 400 days. I'd rather take fucking Nikki Bella's title reign over what these fucking women are doing, to be honest with you. And Nikki Bella defended the title fucking 3 times in 300 days. Plus. Give me a break. Fuck this shit, man. The women's division on Monday Night Raw is completely awful. And this is what I said on my Monday Night Raw review. The women should have been on one brand. I stated this going back to July of 2016. I dated this back till the fucking draft. And now I'm proven right. The women, realistically, how many women on Monday Night Raw do they use? Nia Jax, for the better half of most of the time on Raw, hasn't been used. So she doesn't even count. You could count her if you wanted as a body, but how many women have consistently been on Monday Night Raw? You got Sasha, Charlotte, and Bayley. That's 3 women right there. How many women on SmackDown have been used? You got Becky, you got Mickey, you got Alexa, you got Naomi, who's back on television now, right? You got Natalya, and you got Nikki. That's 6 women right there. Added to the 3 that you only use on Monday Night Raw, you have a division of 9 women. Why couldn't you put that all on one brand? And it makes the fan actually want to go out and watch the shows. Why are you going to make the shows mirror each other with a division here and a division there and a tag team division here and a tag team division there, right? There were reports dating back that WWE wanted to add a cruiserweight division on SmackDown because Monday Night Raw had a cruiserweight division. If the women were on Monday Night Raw, you could get your Charlotte, Sasha, and Bayley fix and give them competition all at the same time. Because you know how Stephanie McMahon loves to be a part of the women's revolution. Why couldn't you feature all these women on Monday Night Raw and book them appropriately? You know, I would have taken Charlotte a little bit more seriously if she ran through a Sasha, and she ran through a Natty, and she ran through a Becky, and she ran through a Mickey. Come on, bro. No, you're just going to flip-flop Sasha and Charlotte back and forth to see who's the biggest loser of them all. You know? Fucking ridiculous. And then you could do the same thing with tag team division. How many tag teams on Monday Night Raw do they use? Golden Truth, waste. They don't use them. The Shining Stars, awful. They don't use them. Enzo and Cass are not even used in a wrestling role anymore. Right? But you got Enzo and Cass, you got the Club, and you got the New Day. 3 fucking teams. 3 teams. How many teams do you feature prominently on SmackDown? You got American Alpha, but they got no fucking competition. That's 4 teams right there. You got the Ascension, 5. You got Breezango, 6. You got the Usos, 7. You got the Vaudevillains, 8. You got Rhino and Slater, 9. You can put the tag team division on SmackDown, and you can give us quality tag team wrestling. You don't have to feature teams every single week. Wait your turn, you know? You can have the championships feuding with a team. You can have other teams battling it out over who's going to challenge the champions next, who's going to be put in line for a title shot next. Same thing with the women. How is this fucking not happening on Monday Night Raw and SmackDown? I mean, am I talking out of my ass, or am I making complete sense here? Doesn't that sound a lot better than what we're getting right now? I mean, you guys enjoy the title flipping this much after the statistic I just showed you? Come on, bro. I mean, I'm a fucking outside party looking in here, giving his opinion, and what I just came up with is the way the draft should have been laid out. But WWE had no plans going into the draft. They fucked everything up. Awful. Absolutely fucking awful. Okay? But Charlotte, what are they going to do? You only got 2 things here. If they want to have Bayley retain the title, Charlotte has to win by DQ. Okay? Charlotte has to win by disqualification. She will keep her streak on pay-per-view intact. Or WWE could do what everybody is expecting them to and give Charlotte another title reign. But at this point, it's on Bayley. Keep it on Bayley. You might as well. The best thing to do right now is keep it on Bayley. Okay? Charlotte's out of the picture. No more. You had your fucking fun in the sun. Sasha and Bayley needs to be the feud that WWE progresses with. Bayley's the champion. Simple booking. Sasha and Bayley are good friends. They're best friends, right? Sasha can't get the job done. Sasha has been hurt. Sasha has had all these fucking unfortunate situations come her way. Can't get the job done. Can't win the big match. Can't win the title. Now she sees her friends succeeding, right? And all of a sudden, week after week after week, with jealousy brewing, you build towards Sasha turning heel on Bayley at WrestleMania. You have Sasha cost Bayley the title at WrestleMania against whomever, man. It could be in that fatal four-way that's being rumored for the women. Nia, Charlotte, Sasha, and Bayley in a fatal four-way match at WrestleMania. All four women, all of the women on Monday Night Raw in one match. You could do that. Maybe Nia Jax wins and pulls off the upset. Maybe they give her back to Charlotte at WrestleMania. Who the fuck knows? But you got it on Bayley right now. Keep it on Bayley. And build towards Sasha turning heel. That's what you need to do. That's what you need, okay? But the rumor going around right now is Bayley, as you know, defeated Charlotte on the February 13th episode of Monday Night Raw. It was a very good match. I'm not taking anything away from both women, but creative sucks dick. As a result, she became the new Raw Women's Champion. This continued the trend of Charlotte being unable, I should say, to successfully defend her title on Raw. Many fans have been complaining about the title change because of what happened in the past. In Charlotte's feud with Sasha, she lost the title a few times on Raw, only to win it back at pay-per-view events. Charlotte has accumulated an undefeated record at pay-per-view since making her WWE main roster debut, and many fans think that she is just going to win the title back from Bayley at Fastlane. Some of you are actually telling me that Charlotte, I didn't hear this, I don't know where you guys read this. Maybe I was overlooking it and I couldn't find it. Some of you are saying Charlotte is getting lawyers per storyline to reverse the decision and give the title back to Charlotte after what happened on Monday Night Raw. Maybe they do that. I have no fucking idea. That would be a different way to get Charlotte the title back, but at least it'll still count as her fourth reign and not a fifth. So we're going to see what happens with that. I haven't heard anything about that yet. There are some early rumors that say WWE does not have a definitive plan right now for the Raw Women's title picture of Fastlane. The idea is that they are trying to figure out a way to maintain Charlotte's undefeated pay-per-view streak while not doing the obvious thing and have her win it back immediately. Don't be surprised if Charlotte cashes in her rematch in the next few weeks instead of Fastlane, or if the rematch happens at the event, expect some interference that will lead to Charlotte winning by DQ. Both scenarios would keep her pay-per-view winning streak intact for WrestleMania 33. We will have to wait and see what happens, but we are holding out hope that this is the case and WWE doesn't have her have a fifth title reign. Spare us, please. It's not the way to build legacy. It's not the way to build character. All of these women, Charlotte and Sasha, obviously and clearly, they look more weak and they look more pathetic than anything. You're not building a legacy. You are just hot potatoing the title, and you're making everything in that division look like a fucking joke. And it sucks that the casual fans got the fucking, that they got such short-term fucking memory. They got the fucking memory span of a fucking goldfish, because they don't like long reigns. They want to see instant gratification. They want to see something with the payoff after a week or 2 weeks. You don't want to see things build out. Or play out, build up. Come on, man. What do you want? You watching a fucking soap opera? Go watch General Hospital. Go watch Days of Our Lives, right? There's always some fucking twist and turn, and you gotta wait till the next fucking episode, and it's fucking 3 months, into the fucking show, and still, you haven't found out who fucked Denise, or you haven't found out who killed Sid. Whatever the fuck their names are there, right? Give me a break, dude. Give me a break. Long reigns equal legacy. Long reigns equal strong characters. It's what you do within that reign and who you defeat and what you do there against opponent after opponent after opponent. Come on, man. I can't be the only one that thinks that way. Why is WWE making their division look like shit? Because they have nothing else and they fucked up the draft. That's why. Braun Strowman was chewed out by Vince McMahon on Monday Night Raw. Really? Really now? Was it Vince McMahon or was it... I don't know. But Braun Strowman fucked up. You might remember on the January 30th episode of Raw, Braun Strowman came to the ring and interrupted Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho after Strowman took out Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns! At the Royal Rumble, he demanded a title shot. Okay? He demanded a title shot from Kevin Owens for his Universal belt. I was about to go out there a couple of weeks ago, and I heard Braun Strowman say, I want a title shot. Okay? This was coming from Mick Foley, by the way. I was about to go out there a couple of weeks ago, and I heard Braun Strowman say, I want a title shot. Mr. McMahon's behind the curtain, at the board, watching the monitor, and he's like, oh, God, it's not a title shot. I was thinking to myself, then what is it? That's exactly what I would go out and call it. When I would go out there, you want a title shot. He's like, it's a title match. It's a match. So if you ever wonder what it's like to see a 6'8", 300-pound behemoth, the monster among men, get chewed out by Vince McMahon, you should have been there, says Foley. The image of Vince screaming in the face of Strowman is an incredible image. Something so small like that lets you know how much of a perfectionist that Vince McMahon... perfectionist? That's Vince McMahon being a perfectionist or a fucking psychopath. I think you got the wrong terminology there, Mr. Editor here. That's not fucking being a perfectionist. A perfectionist is having your show go on and put on I don't expect a 10 out of 10 show. A solid 7.5, solid 8 out of 10 every week. Maybe you could sprinkle in a few 10s here and there, but that's being a perfectionist, you know? But Monday Night Raw, and this is what you're complaining about? Everything else that's happening on Monday Night Raw, and the disease that is Monday Night Raw, all the wrongdoings on Monday Night Raw, this is what you're upset about? You're upset about Braun Strowman calling it a title shot instead of a title match. You're calling the fucking championship a belt. You're upset with that? What the fuck is it? You wear it around your waist. It's a fucking belt. You're going out there getting a title shot. You have a shot at the opportunity to win a fucking title. It's the same thing. No, it's a title match. Get the fuck out of here, dude. Next time you watch Monday Night Raw, think about this story. And then think about the New Day coming out with fucking ice cream recipes. No, but this is the fucking biggest thing in the world. This is the thing you gotta fucking ream out your superstars for. Are you out of your fucking minds? Jesus Christ. I don't believe the shit that I read on a weekly basis, man. I really don't. Anyway, plans for Bray Wyatt. We already went over this. This is another article laying out plans for the Battle Royal on SmackDown. As you guys know, Daniel Bryan announced Battle Royal #1 contender, SmackDown Live, who's going to fight Bray at WrestleMania 33. There are 2 rumors floating around out there, and none of them include Roman Reigns goons, okay? The first rumor is Luke Harper is going to win the Battle Royal next week and earn himself a chance against Bray Wyatt. WWE planted the seeds for this prior to the main event when Harper attacked Wyatt, nearly costing him the belt. As a result, Orton will also become involved in the match, making it a triple threat match for the WWE Championship between Wyatt family members. Good on WWE. Love it. The other rumor circulating is that the plan is still for it to be Randy Orton versus Bray Wyatt at WrestleMania. WWE's been building this up for several months, teasing the split between Wyatt and Orton. Orton saying that he won't compete is just another way to build intrigue. It's exactly what I said following SmackDown Live on Twitter. This is another layer of intrigue by WWE storytelling. We probably get bored with Randy Orton and Bray Wyatt the way they were for 6 weeks. Why not throw a fucking monkey wrench into the gears and switch it up? It's got everybody fucking talking, so they obviously did something right. It's got everybody fucking talking. Randy Orton foregoes his title shot. And in the end, he's going to fucking betray Bray Wyatt. He's going to really make the WWE title more important than the family that is the Wyatts. It's great storytelling. And like I told you before, Luke Harper is going to be the one to really be the one who's been right all along. Don't trust a snake. Don't trust the viper. Randy Orton's going to show his true colors. Because Bray Wyatt right now has more faith in Randy than he does in Luke Harper, who he's been with for 4 years. Randy's been here for fucking less than 6 months. So that's great storytelling, that he's putting his faith in the more well-known elite superstar instead of his family, his blood, and Luke Harper. That's great storytelling. It's got people talking, so clearly WWE did something right. Like I said, Bray Wyatt versus Randy Orton. Randy Orton will be there. This is just another way to build intrigue into the angle. He will eventually turn on his master. The Battle Royal throws a wrench into things, but there is still the possibility of Orton facing off against the Battle Royal winner to determine Bray's opponent. So we could get Luke Harper versus Randy Orton again in a rematch, and that could all boil down to a triple threat match at WrestleMania. There are still 6 weeks to go before WrestleMania, and tons of time to build for the event. It appears that these are the only 2 real options for Bray at WrestleMania, and I would love if Luke Harper gets involved, because other than that, what does he got to do? What are you gonna do with Luke Harper at WrestleMania? He already put on a great match with Randy Orton at Elimination Chamber. He's back. He's healthy. Why not give him a rub as well off this whole Randy Orton situation with Bray Wyatt? Why not build another superstar in the process? You already built Bray Wyatt, and he's elevating very quickly. So why not add Luke Harper to that as well? Kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Great move. Can't wait to see what unfolds. Now, let's talk about the main story here, man. I did mention that Vince McMahon wants AJ Styles on Monday Night Raw. How long are we into this thing? We're almost 2 hours. I'm gonna save the AJ Styles on Monday Night Raw situation for tomorrow's show. Okay, I don't want to have this go too long. 2 hours is enough. I don't want to do 3 hours. I really want to talk about this new Evolution faction that's being rumored on Monday Night Raw. Okay. Now, I'm going to read the article, and then I'm going to tell you exactly how I'd book it. Okay? I love the idea. I think we need a new faction. Anything that is not named the Authority, okay? I don't want it. Because the Authority brings back bad memories. It's been done. It's old. It's tiresome. It's stale. I don't want it. I would love a new Evolution 2.0. Whatever the fuck you want to call it. Evolution. It's going to be led by Triple H. Fine. It's been rumored for some time now that WWE would be debuting something new for the WWE Raw brand that is, and I broke my pen, fuck you, that is almost a blast from the past. And this time it has everything to do with a popular faction that went by the name of Evolution. WWE has been known for their stables over the years, from D-Generation X to random ones like the Mean Street Posse. Of course, pro wrestling in general has had popular ones over the years, including the Road Warriors and the NWO. And also, can't forget, the Four Horsemen. Factions became so popular back in the 80s that by the 90s, it was the thing to do. When the NWO formed, it seemed as if everybody was a part of it in WCW. Nowadays, you see even New Japan Pro Wrestling reaping the rewards from having the Bullet Club and the Elite going around. At the end of the day, popular factions get it done and can really and truthfully help out several people in their careers. The Wyatt family has been a big topic of discussion lately, especially due to all the tension within the group. On top of this, the Shield is still a group that everyone wants to return. Keep that in mind. However, if a new stable were to make its return to the WWE, what would happen? What if the stable had old roots that would allow for it to succeed if it is anything like the original concept? Enter Evolution. The original WWE faction was comprised of legendary Ric Flair, Triple H, and 2 young studs known as Batista and Randy Orton. The group helped every man in their careers, especially Orton and Batista, who would go on to have main event matches at WrestleMania on multiple occasions, winning numerous WWE championships in their careers. At the time, however, the group was about getting Triple H over as a top heel champion, and it worked very well. It is not shocking that rumors coming out of various different sources claim that there is a possible return planned for the stable, but most likely under a new name. Triple H has already started to lay the foundation for this new heel stable on Raw. He has reconnected with Kevin Owens after 7 months, finally. 6 months, 7 months, whatever. Dating back to August, who is also the current WWE Universal Champion. This past week on Raw, Owens ended his friendship with Chris Jericho, who had his back from almost day one and kept him champion for months. So we could see Chris Jericho at Fastlane. He kept him champion for months, but on Fastlane, Jericho might have the last laugh and cost Owens the championship and not help him at all against Goldberg. The only reason to get rid of an asset like Jericho is to have someone else willing to watch your back that is far superior to Jericho. Enter Samoa Joe, who is now considered to be Triple H's heavy. On his first night with the main roster, former NXT champion Samoa Joe took out Seth Rollins. Rollins is now out with a legit torn MCL. And while he is expected to be back before WrestleMania, the real-life injury only made Joe look more threatening as a hitman of sorts for Triple H. Having both Triple H and Samoa Joe together is already a threat, but by adding Kevin Owens, this makes the group simply amazing. But what if Joe, Triple H, and Owens were not the only people involved? People throwing around the idea of a Bobby Roode. People throwing around the idea of a Pete Dunne for this stable. I'm going to throw out how I'd book this right now. Okay? Rumors going around that Finn Balor is not going to be at WrestleMania. Okay? Not going to be at WrestleMania. I would not form this group before WrestleMania at all. Okay? If WWE's sole concern is to finally get Triple H versus Seth Rollins at WrestleMania done, I would have that go on as planned. I would have Seth Rollins pin Triple H clean. 1, 2, 3. We move on to the next night. Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania. Balor's not on the card. Balor's not on WrestleMania. He will show up on Monday Night Raw. Triple H has NXT running throughout this entire new stable. Kevin Owens, Samoa Joe. Who's going to be the third man? Who's going to be the third man? You can have a tease of sorts leading up to WrestleMania, but they make nothing known at WrestleMania. Triple H goes in there. He wants to get this done by himself. He wants no outside interference, okay? They tease a third man through weeks and weeks and weeks of build leading into WrestleMania. Who's the third man? Who's the third man? And when you hear that term, third man, you always think back to the NWO. And I always envision Bobby Heenan. He's the third man with Hulk Hogan, you know? He's turned his back on WCW. Fucking beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. One of the most iconic moments in fucking wrestling history. When Hulk Hogan joined Scott Hall and Kevin Nash at Bash at the Beach. Who's the third man? Not going to be any of those guys I mentioned. Okay? Finn Balor. Finn Balor should be the third man. And I mean this wholeheartedly. They got nothing else for him to do. Okay? Why do I want Finn Balor to be the third man? If you bring Finn Balor back as the lovable baby face, if you bring him back and you put him in the same role he was before, it's going to be like, yeah, we're going to be happy to see him back, but it's not going to have that impact. That's not an impact for Finn Balor. It's not an impact for WWE. If this is what you're going with, impact needs to be created. You need to have Finn Balor fucking come in there and tear the fucking house down. You have to have him return, and it needs to fucking blow everybody away. Do something unexpected. Do something that nobody else is expecting him to do. He aligns with Triple H. He aligns with Triple H. Who's the third man? Seth Rollins is brutally attacked by not only Joe, not only Owens, but Finn Balor as well. Finn Balor coming out. They could mimic the NWO thing. Have Finn Balor come out as Rollins is beaten down by both Joe and Owens. Balor comes to save the day, the demon, you know? He's back. The fan-friendly, the fucking fan-favorite Finn Balor's back. And just like Hogan did, he turns on Seth Rollins. He joins Samoa Joe and Kevin Owens, shakes their hand. Done. You have your new Evolution 2.0 right there. Now, since we got the faction formed and we have a new power taking control on Monday Night Raw, WWE has been contemplating and WWE has been thinking of doing another draft. Rumors are going around that Vince McMahon wants to do it in May. And it's going to happen in 2017 because he did mention it on a conference call that he wants to freshen the rosters up. It is not out of the realm of possibility that we could see someone, and he only used them as an example. It's not going to happen, but it could. We could see AJ Styles go to Raw. We could see Roman Reigns go to SmackDown. We could see some movement of some big top-level guys switching brands to freshen up feuds, to freshen up the shows. Okay, it's not out of the realm of possibility. Trades could happen. Okay? Mick Foley, if you guys remember, during the contract signing of Samoa Joe when he was officially named to the Raw roster, Did you see Mick Foley's disgust? And did you see the lack of enthusiasm on Mick Foley? Now, keep that in mind, okay? How I would book this. Stephanie McMahon had to chime in and hype up Samoa Joe. The Destroyer is on Monday Night Raw, right? Mick Foley didn't want any part of it. He was upset that Joe took out Seth Rollins, one of the top talents on the brand. Joe took him out, and he didn't even give a shit. Mick Foley was like, we can't have this going on. We can't have this type of behavior happening on Monday Night Raw. He legit hurt this guy. So Mick Foley, by that, he's upset because it damages his roster. He's got one less top talent to work with now. You can't fill Seth Rollins' role overnight. You can't. And Mick Foley was upset about that. So what I would do here, I would have, and there's rumors going around that Foley is possibly going to fade off into the sunset. He's going to retire. He's going to get hip surgery. How about a way to write him off TV? Is before the draft, Foley, behind everybody's back, behind Triple H, behind Vince, behind Stephanie, behind everybody's back, he goes into business for himself. He conducts a trade for Monday Night Raw. He conducts a trade because he's got something up here. He's got something up here that he's devising, and he makes a trade because he doesn't want to see Monday Night Raw revert back to what it was before he was named general manager. He doesn't want Triple H and his presence overtaking the show and making the show, or bring the show down in a bad way. So he makes a trade. He trades Sami Zayn for Dean Ambrose up front before the draft. Okay? And coincidentally, those are the only two guys not picked on the board. We're like, what happened to Zayn? What happened to Ambrose? What brand are they on? It'll come out that Mick Foley traded Zayn for Dean Ambrose. So Zayn goes to SmackDown. Ambrose comes to Monday Night Raw. Stephanie asks, why the fuck did you do that? Why did you do that? Who authorized that? I didn't give you the okay for that. Triple H didn't give you the okay for that. How are you going to go into business for yourself? Everything you do has to be run through me. And he explains himself. I did this because I can't stand to see Monday Night Raw walk that same line it did before the draft last year. This show was miserable. This show was going in the wrong direction. The authority was bringing this show down. I made a trade so that this show has at least a fighting chance to survive. Because with your husband running this show, and you running this show, and the fucking behavior that I've seen on this show the past couple of weeks, it's going to cripple this show. SmackDown is going to win the war. By trading for Dean Ambrose, Mick Foley knew exactly what he was doing. Because on Monday Night Raw, you already have Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins on the show. So he knew by trading for Ambrose that he would reassemble in secret the Shield. And if you want Balor, Joe, and Owens as Evolution 2.0, Mick Foley has given Monday Night Raw its final chance to be redeemed. The Shield comes together. Now, none of these guys are going to be in World Championship situations. None of them. Absolutely none of them. But if you get the Shield together, and I stated this already, Roman Reigns, WWE's not going to turn him heel. By association with Ambrose and Rollins, and just by the Shield moniker, the Shield name, he will be over. Because he will be put back in a role that he thrived in. And by association, standing next to Rollins and Ambrose, he will be over. And the war of Monday Night Raw will commence. The reformation of the Shield one more time to try and take down Triple H's takeover of Monday Night Raw with Samoa Joe, Finn Balor, and Kevin Owens. And you can mix and match however you want. You could do tag team matches one week. You can have singles matches one week. It could be some type of stipulation. We can have all this shit happening. And we build and build and build. And WWE can write and create and give us intriguing storyline. And we can have a huge showdown for the overtake of Monday Night Raw. Will Triple H control Monday Night Raw indefinitely? Will his takeover succeed? Or will Mick Foley and his going into business for himself be Raw's last chance by assembling the Shield? Dude, this is a recipe for fucking success right here. That Mick Foley going into business for himself is absolutely genius. Because that will lead to his termination. That will lead to Stephanie bringing in a new GM. That's how you get Mick Foley out. He's fired. He went into business for himself. He made the deal, signed, sealed, and delivered. You know, somebody signed off on it. The new GM. I don't know. Maybe you can weasel away that Mick Foley, picked his replacement already. He already got that approved by higher ups. Everybody went over Stephanie McMahon said. But that will lead to Mick Foley's termination. The Shield is back. Triple H has a new stable, and they completely destroy Monday Night Raw. And I mean, you book these guys like fucking legit monsters. They shed blood everywhere. Monday Night Raw will never be the same. Got the Shield back together. A huge war is waged. This could lead into SummerSlam. This could lead into Survivor Series. You got storylines for the entire fucking year with this. And you can add another member to the Evolution stable. You can add an honorary member to the Shield to have them fight alongside Reigns, Rollins, and Ambrose. Lead this to Survivor Series. 4-on-4 elimination. Done. No better way than that, man. I just booked WWE for the rest of 2017. Now, this report does mention Finn Balor, and that he also might take part in the group. While he has rivalries with Owens and Joe in NXT, he was also seen as a star for Triple H, and that the game has been very protective of Balor since the start of his career with WWE. Hunter gave Finn the keys to the kingdom on his first night of Monday Night Raw. Balor alone seemed to keep WWE NXT as a top destination for months, even with major losses to main roster guys like Owens and Zayn, as well as injuries to people like Hideo Itami. Triple H has been a big fan of Finn ever since the beginning of NXT, and many believe that is the very reason he won the Universal title so quickly. And that was because the game pretty much forced it to happen, as he wanted to push Balor to the moon on day one. Adding Balor to a stable with Samoa Joe and Kevin Owens is certainly a good plan if WWE wants to go the Evolution route. The top veteran playing the Flair role is Triple H. The game's role is played by Owens. Samoa Joe is the new Batista, and Finn Balor is the new Randy Orton. If the group does end up happening like this, one could expect to see it officially begin between now and the night after WrestleMania 33. Go for it. WWE needs a shakeup. I can't think of a better way to get Mick Foley out, to get Ambrose to Raw, Zayn to SmackDown, the Shield back together, Evolution 2.0 forming, and you have a fucking massive war waged on Monday Night Raw, man. That show needs to come off life support. They've been on life support for far too long. That is the feud. That is the situation that needs to happen to finally breathe some life into that fucking dismal show. It needs to happen. And if you guys enjoyed what I just described to you, let me know down in the comments. Let me know on Twitter at JD from NY206. And that is off the script for this Friday, February 17th, 2017. Thank you guys so much. Hit that thumbs up. Please check the description for everything I talked about at the beginning of this video. I would greatly appreciate it. Audible and everything else. Thank you guys so much. Follow me on Twitter at JD from NY206. Subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already. And I will be back with more top stories right here on Off the Script for Saturday, right before House of Glory in Queens, New York. I am JD. Thank you guys so much for watching and listening. And I will see you all for part 2. Talk to you later.